Good evening, fellow heretics. Welcome to a special episode of Nerds and Heresy. I'm your host, Captain Dadpool.
And I'm no longer Jedi Nat.
You're regular Nat this time.
I'm regular Nat now.
We have a panel of fun guest spot waiting backstage. And we're going to talk about some fun stuff. But before we bring them on, let's watch that intro. I said, let's watch that. What is happening? Latest goddamn intro. It's not working.
I love that I could hear you behind the intro. Being like, why isn't it working? No.
Did it work?
It did. Like you went through, yeah. But like we could hear you as well.
It didn't play at all for me. Okay, well anyway. Apparently I'm all fucked up tonight. So I'm just gonna bring y'all on and we're gonna all be fucked up together.
Fucked up.
Hey.
Speaking of fucked,
please
talk about
everybody give a warm welcome to the Heathen Queen, the Courageous, and Archeowolf. How y'all doing, guys?
Before we get going, can I have Archeowolf go ahead and say a word or two?
Yeah, are you?
Oh yeah.
Can you hear it there?
Ah, yes.
There we go.
Your sound.
Hey.
I'm on my tablet because apparently
You're really quiet.
You are really quiet. I will admit to that, but
let me
we'll
see if there's a way I can turn you up.
I can hear you fine for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So,
fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it usually sounds like, to be fair, but yeah.
Loud.
Maybe that's a little better.
No.
His voice carries and is very masterful. He's who Mark Driscoll wishes he was.
I love
And
that.
I've had prep for the last 4 days, so my voice is really nice.
I was gonna say your voice is very scratchy and it's quiet already. On the phone it was a little different. So what are we drinking?
All right.
Scotch.
I understand it's scotch. What's scotch?
Expensive.
Ah, Glenlivet. Oh,
No.
Kenny. Got it.
I'm drinking sweet tea because I'm going to the gym in the morning, so I'm trying not to get drunk tonight.
Oh. I should have grabbed a drink before the show started, but my recovering from religion meeting went long.
Anyway, welcome to the show tonight, guys. We have a lot to cover, and we have plenty of time to do it, too. But this is fun, kind of, for me, because what's been in the news recently in regards to interesting events in Christianity hits close to home for Courageous and myself. Courageous being a former member of the church and me being ostracized multiple times by the same church is kind of fun to talk about.
That's why I kept messaging Ricky being like when the thing with the toes started.
I sent him the toe thing and he's like, it's the same church? I was like, yes,
I didn't realize it was
the same church.
Sorry, I don't know about what the toe thing. Oh God.
Okay, so last month
I was aware of all the goings on in weird Christian land.
Last month, there was a woman from James River, and James River was broadcasting it, was claiming that she lost 3 toes in an accident, and that someone prayed for her during their church service, and those 3 toes grew back, but would not provide any evidence for it.
Morgan's
didn't
face
stop him
now
from delivering a whole ass sermon about it.
Yeah, he gave a whole
odd.
sermon about it, and then he said that us asking for evidence was anti-evangelical, which was just the funny.
Fine, I am anti-evangelical.
They all said it was an invasion
I would like
of
to ask
privacy.
a question.
Oh Lord.
Can we use this as proof of reptile people?
I am for it. Reptoids exist.
I am a reptile person.
They grow back, yeah.
If James River assembly members are the reptoid people, you may be onto something.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Like, did God really heal her toes, or is she a lizard person?
Or better yet,
Either
she
one
wanted
is equally
attention,
plausible.
and she was in an accident, and she wanted attention, and that's it.
Dude, and like
Three-toed
the more that you peel back on that story, it's like
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
I genuinely feel my heart, like, the more I learned about it, the sadder it got, because it was like, it wasn't just an accident. She was, like, shot by her ex-husband and in a coma and, like, lost her toes.
And this
from
is
it.
the story she's going with.
Yeah.
After
This is-
all of that, she's like, but don't worry, y'all. I got abused and shot by my husband, but God grew my toes back. And that's the moral of this story.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what she's going with.
Because those feet pics are important.
But hey,
I mean-
that's an invasion of her privacy, and the fact that the church themselves won't even ask her for them.
I just...
And then
It's
a
like,
little
we
while
trust
later,
her.
Yeah, sorry.
another church had another story where, like, they prayed over this woman who I can't remember which church it is now, but they prayed over a woman that was flat-footed, and then while she was asleep, God healed her, and she woke up and had perfect arches in her feet.
Hi.
And I'm like,
Well, I
God
also am
really is
flat-footed, so maybe they could pray for me.
So and
Yeah.
let's not forget, we got to touch on this as well.
You know-
this is all the same church, mind you. This is James River Church in
Iconic.
Ozark, Missouri.
Okay.
Which also has branches in Branson and also in Springfield, Missouri. The branches are called campuses. They have campuses.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Not like branches. But this is also the same church who has not once but twice been under accusation for funneling chaperones and camp counselors into a program called Kanakuk Camps, which has,
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, don't
Wait,
Oh.
Kanakuk?
you?
Kanakuk Camps.
Kanakuk Camps. It's
Okay.
it's supposed to be a Christian school, Christian camp, but there have been multiple occurrences of not just women but also men coming forward that have been sexually abused whilst at
Oh,
this
yeah.
Yep.
That's, I mean, sorry, not like, oh, yeah, but like, that's not surprising.
Right.
Typical.
And apparently, recently, like as of November last year, they had to file for fraud. I didn't actually read the whole story on that, but it's fun to see that there's more things happening. I should probably read the rest of it. Anyway, do you
Well
want to
then.
play the video of the manhood? The
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The
So
man's
the point of this
conference.
whole stream
Stronger
is,
man.
Conference. Man.
Man's, I'm a man's man.
here we go. We're gonna get our testosterones flowings.
Woo! My, oh my. What a
Are
man
we-
conference.
You hear that?
Hold on. Fucking thing.
America, fuck yeah!
Look it up.
Like, why are there so many cars?
Because
Oh,
you'll see what's about to happen.
sorry.
This is what
I'm gonna shut
happens
up.
when you don't park. You don't follow the parking signs.
When you don't park with Jesus.
I only have back door parking available. No. What is the hell is
So,
happening?
I have something to say about that.
Guy shit.
Man. God. That guy's dick is probably huge.
Now, real
That's the only
quick,
reason you would do that,
Not
right?
really,
they're claiming that this is Chuck Norris.
but it's
But
not.
Chuck Norris isn't in
This
on any of the
church has
promotional
been
material,
known-
and this is clearly not Chuck Norris. It's just a guy dressed up as him. And they said that Chuck Norris, this guy, was the one driving the tank. That's
That's not where
not.
you drive a tank from.
That's not who's
You're not
driving
doing
the
that.
tank.
I've got to make a
This-
point here that did you see the stadium auditorium type setting? That
This
is
little
their
guy
normal
down here
church.
is who's driving.
That is the normal church setting.
That's the.
Yeah.
Wait till if
normal-
I go there next Sunday. That's what's gonna like that.
Yeah, they'll have
Stuff.
chairs though. Like they'll have chairs all along there. But yeah, it's a fucking auditorium. Like it's not just an auditorium. It's a goddamn like civic center. Like it is huge.
Why are there so many
So-
weird people?
Yeah.
Like,
Don't
I just
insult
can't
weird
believe
people.
like I can because I went to this church for 4 years. But like this actually happened. This isn't just a scene out of the Righteous Gemstones. Like
It's a good show though.
it's such a
Oh,
good
it
show,
is.
but like
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
it's like feed the poor, heal the sick. Oh no, man, we got a tank. Jesus will love it. Like
Blow shit up. That's what Jesus said, right?
Well, it's just
Yes.
interesting that so this
Because
church has been
blowing up-
known to like actually have like mannequins and or people dressed as Jesus and have them flying around in the auditorium.
Did I see that?
and saying that Jesus was there and present and like everyone went with it.
Yeah, for
That's-
sure, dude.
My
You know,
mom
Like
likes
I
that's
recall
sacrilegious,
something.
honestly. I feel like that's horrible.
When I was a
Whatever.
kid, I recall something. My dad used to tell me he saw dinosaurs at work.
What?
I really liked dinosaurs when I was 8.
I still like them.
So, well, I do too, but like I wanted to catch a real dinosaur. My dad would go, well, I saw a dinosaur at work. Maybe I'll try to catch you one. Saying that Jesus is flying around on strings in an auditorium feels deja vu-y. I don't know why.
Because it's bullshit?
My connection
Well-
is unstable.
This is expensive. I watched The Tank.
dude, and like
So,
Oh, here's the thing. How much do you want to bet that the Branson and or Springfield National Guard donated the tank for show?
no,
God.
Yeah,
no.
you probably got the cars donated. They were
Probably
probably
not.
junk cars. Like
I have to tell you something. Ricky might recognize it too. This is going to rock their world. Very Americo-Christian show. That is a Challenger tank from the British Army. It is a Challenger tank. It was on Roadkill. It's from an outfit in Arizona. Mike Finnegan broke it by going 23 miles an hour, and the road wheels, 50-something years old, started to disintegrate. That
That's
is a
the same
museum
tank.
piece. It is not even an American tank.
I love it when you go full research on
Like
this.
that-
I fucking love
Oh,
it.
no. My
This
research
tank
is
specifically.
watching it.
Wait, are we talking about that style or are we talking about that tank?
That tank is a Challenger.
Well, I know it's a Challenger.
Maybe
You
that's
Yeah,
Challenger.
this
the
is
one
the
that-
same.
broke after going 23 miles an hour.
Yeah, because the road wheels were 50 years old, and they're solid rubber over a metal ring, and because the solid rubber was all dried out, it started to disintegrate. The tank was immobilized on
Yep.
the TV show.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah, that's a British tank. If it was an American tank, if it was donated by the U.S. military, it'd be an M1A1 Abram tank.
Yeah, okay. See, I don't know anything about tanks, but I just was thinking like, oh yeah, it wouldn't be the first time that someone that like went to church there was part of the National Guard or like the some form of military in Springfield. Or better yet, there are people that drive down from Rolla and from is it Lindenwood? What's the base there? Is it Lindenwood? Is that right?
sounds right.
Yeah, and like I know people that would drive all the way down there. They have a fucking Rolla campus now too. Like it's out there. This church is the biggest. Like no one believes me when I was like, it has to be one of the largest mega churches.
This is the tank that we use here in America.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
not
the
the same
best tank in the world. It genuinely is.
Now, real quick,
Not the same thing.
look up
This
an
is
M60.
not that.
Look up what
Look up an M60, which would have been the next oldest American tank 30 and change years ago.
That's the one my dad was a
Leonard Wood,
tanker.
that's it.
My dad was a tanker for 30 years in the
Leonard
army.
Wood.
tank.
Oh, that's the gun.
My dad was not, but
I should have known better. Yeah, this is what my dad
Different
drove.
shape,
Got
different
pictures of me
chassis,
sticking out of it as a baby.
different turret.
Yeah, that's
That's so fucking funny.
That's great. This is why we bring a history buff in. I love it.
Exactly. So back to the conference. There was star-studded cast of guest speakers.
Why does
I'm
Tim
sure.
Timberlake sound familiar?
because you think Justin Timberlake.
No, I
Yeah.
get that, but like, why? No, but like Karaya, why does he sound familiar? Is he one of the?
I looked him up. I didn't
Nothing?
recognize like
Maybe
anything
it is
about him.
Maybe it's just because his last name Timberlake. Woohoo!
Yeah, it's like I couldn't find out anything. I was like, oh, it just sounds like Tim Tebow and Timberlake had a
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow and like Justin Timberlake, and that's why the
Jimmy
name.
Timberlake.
Jesus.
No, so John Lindell is the pastor and host of this man's conference.
Yes.
Wait,
And-
Lindell. Isn't that the My Pillow guy? The same last name? Lindell?
No.
Yeah,
not-
same.
Is it the same last name? It's not the
Yeah,
same
Mike
family.
Lindell.
Lindell.
That's Mike. Mike, whatever his name is.
My Pillow guy, that's it.
Wasn't Timberlake the
No.
guy with the collection?
Where's-
Sure, I don't know.
Oh, like the millions of dollars shoes.
Maybe. I don't
But,
know.
okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, go for it. Hunt that
Tim
down.
Timberlake shoes.
Timberlands? You mean Timberlands?
Timberlands. Timberlands.
Timberlands. All the T's.
Oh, you meant like, wasn't he the one? Wait, never mind. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So one of the speakers.
Yeah, was a
was-
lovely Josh. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, Josh, we'll get to him in a minute. But first is Mark Driscoll.
Nightmare
No.
fuel.
Begin tonight with the sudden departure of Tucker Carlson from Fox News. The company today announcing they have agreed to part ways.
They canceled Tucker Carlson. And as far as we know, I don't think he did anything wrong. I mean, it's not like
Nothing
his name
wrong.
is Hunter. The way this works itself out is eventually, if you're a leader, you need to know this. Everybody gets canceled. Even Jesus got canceled. They opposed him with a negative narrative. They arrested him. They brought false witnesses, and they crucified
people
him.
stop
The
talking
point is
about
this:
Jesus? Did I miss
cancel
something?
culture is coming for every leader. You're going to get deplatformed.
Tucker
You're going to get
Carlson's
criticized.
just like
You're going to
Jesus.
get fired. It's going to happen. And let me
Obviously.
tell you this: if you're a Bible teacher, it's probably going to happen more than once. And if you are a pastor who has not been canceled, you've probably not been faithful to the Word of God. It's almost in the day
Wow.
now where if somebody hasn't been canceled, you wonder if they've done their job. Congratulations, Tucker. You've done your job.
Real
Yeah,
quick,
except-
this guy's talking. Why is he not canceled?
He
Must
has
be-
been.
Yes.
He's been canceled. This is his idea of being canceled. He got canceled, then he got a new fucking church and a new like everything, more money. And then they made podcasts about this guy getting canceled.
He's been exposed as being like a major abuser. He
He's a
also
piece
a
of
couple
shit.
of years ago, like I want to say it was like 8 or 9 years ago, he had this whole thing where he called women penis houses.
Forgot about that.
That
Sorry.
was him.
It's not funny, but it's just so stupid.
We are the
Well, then-
homes for a
That's the
man's
guy.
junk. That was it.
That's,
That was
that's,
like
that's what we are.
we are
I-
homes
I-
for men.
I love
If
the.
we
I
close
love
Real
our
quick.
home-
Okay,
Yeah,
real
Morgan.
quick. Answer me
No,
this.
but without
Is he
women, men are
promoting
homeless.
prostitution and
That's the
trans-
whole thing. Without women, men are homeless.
What was that, Morgan?
Oh, Morgan, what were you gonna say?
Go for
So,
it.
so what he's saying is that prostitution is just paying rent.
Zing.
I mean,
I mean,
Not
he
wrong.
also said that you're either a penis house or a crumbling temple. So I'm guessing
It's not
he would
that
say
part
that-
right. I am a crumbling temple. With, like bird shit and stuff on it.
Crumbling temples are cool as shit, though.
Like all the flying
They
bird
are.
shit and all the bird shit.
I'd rather be
Yeah.
a temple than a house, even if it's crumbling.
Dude,
Yeah, my-
the crumbling temples are the coolest temples. Ask the archaeologist. I'm just saying.
I'm actually a ziggurat, so yeah, that's all.
But yeah, no,
Thanks for
he's
coming to my TED Talk. See you guys later.
as being a
This
really
essay, no.
he's been exposed as being majorly abusive, and so he got fired from his church and got hired by another mega church, and
Right,
so
'cause he is influential,
Is
whether
that what you
canceled
do?
or not.
well, I just got to say this though. Considering I've never heard or seen him up till this point,
Bless you.
he's not very good at getting canceled either.
He's not good at anything. Ask his wife.
Sure, she'll tell you all about it.
Wait, which one?
Yeah, I don't know. Ask any of them, really.
I was gonna say the exes probably aren't that interested.
Get them all together. Ask about it.
Dude, we'll get them together at the Design for Life conference,
Oh my god.
But
which
I
is the
love
women's
the.
version of the men's
yeah.
conference from the same church.
Wait, what was it called again?
Design,
Designed
Life?
for life.
Yeah, Design for
Design.
Life by James
I'm gonna look
River.
this up.
Which
Yeah, that's what I was like looking it up because I wanted to see. Well, what speakers do they have for the women's conference? Because
They're
I
probably all
remember going
men.
to
They're
the
men,
women's
aren't
conferences, and their speakers were lame as fuck. And
All
I
of
looked
their
it up, and
speakers
they
are.
are so lame. Like,
it's like, yes, the pastor's wife, and also another wife, and another wife, and like a teenager that's definitely being like groomed to be a pastor's wife, just waiting for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They love
That-
when like teenagers speak like, "Oh, it's on fire."
the biggest person that I had was like, so if anyone, I was a big for King and Country fan when I was in a Christian. It was something that like my sister and I did together. One of those guys' wife spoke at one of them, and I was like, this is the most famous person they've had at this.
What is for King and Country?
It's so do you remember Rebecca St. James?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Wild.
So
Yeah.
her two younger brothers that started a group called King and Country.
Yep, there it is.
Like a musical group?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
shit. They got a trailer.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Wait, we're
fuck.
not
I
gonna be able
don't
to hear it
know.
on this one. I gotta switch.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself so that we
I
can.
need to share using a different tab so you can hear.
Okay, I'm gonna mute
There we go.
myself.
Okay. Well, let's watch.
Let's.
After the ad.
Do, 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 do.
she gave us it was the accent. Because I
was gonna say Jesus and
Did y'all
no,
see it?
you're gay. It's literally in your
Rebecca
name.
St. James. Oh my god. In the past. Oh, that's fair.
it was not country music, Dustin. It was like
God and country. It was its own thing. That
Oh,
that
shit.
is what
Very
Branson,
American
Branson
title.
is.
That's
But
what the
Branson
British.
is God and country. That's just how they are. Yeah.
Are y'all able to see this? Because it's just a still.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
I want to fucking see it. Let's do it.
Okay. It's a still picture for me. So
it's frozen for me, so
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
just a
doing anything
picture.
at the moment.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the ad either, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought
yep.
Debbie Lindell. Oh God.
Yep. Debbie Lindell.
Deb.
How
Oh,
insecure with
I
your
know.
masculinity do you have to be to put a fake Chuck Norris in a tank that was made by the British military in the center of
I
the
mean,
country, in the center of the U.S., and have him firing guns?
that was something.
Like how immature and like insecure do you have to be to like have this presented?
The
to
limit
you
does not
and make you
exist.
Feel good.
Oh,
The limit does not exist.
The
it
limit
gets even better because that is a great opportunity to bring up one of their guest speakers,
no.
our good friend
Oh.
Josh Hawley,
Oh my god.
or Josh Hallass.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh.
And here's a snippet from his inspiring speech.
No matter how you feel, no matter how the last few months have gone for you or the last few years, your life is a life of influence. Your life is a life of significance, and God wants to use you to do something that he won't use anybody else for. He has something for you that he doesn't have with anybody else. He has called you to a specific task and
You're
purpose in this
special.
day and in this hour. And the world needs it.
Yeah.
He's chosen to do it. Our purpose.
God,
He called Josh Hawley to
There
run
are
away on
few
camera.
things more
Yeah.
important in a man's life than purpose.
Man.
Purpose
Oh,
tells
oh,
us
oh.
who we are.
So did you see? Because I sent it
I wanna-
to you. Oh, sorry, it's not over. I'll let.
It tells us what we're here for. It tells us where we're going. Purpose gives a man a sense of identity. It gives him a sense of momentum in his life, a sense of direction. There are few things
Like
that
the
a
direction
man
he
with
ran away
purpose
from the mob.
cannot do. No matter how you feel,
So yeah, just a
Oh,
bunch
God.
of you're special. God has a plan for you.
No, I want to hear what Morgan had to say. He's like, hold on. Purpose.
Real quick, I just want to say something. It chumps like this. I continually see the whole, everything is greater than you when you're doing stuff for God, etc. and so forth. Why is it all of these people who do so much stuff for God have lots of shit? And they don't ever have to suffer any sort of indignation of being poor or destitute themselves. Just a question.
Yep. So did you see, because I sent it to you, Jess, but I don't know if you ever saw it, that like just a couple weeks ago, Josh Hawley gave a speech about new Marxists.
Oh my God.
And
yes.
How they don't like American culture. They don't like our history. They don't like our institutions. They don't like the family. They want to fundamentally transform this nation. And
do you know how actually hard it is to go find people that identify as Marxists that know what the fuck Marxism is?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
it makes me so angry.
I sent you the video because it's like a whole like 3-minute speech or something.
I can't watch it. I keep screaming at them that that's not Marxism.
No, that's I sent a message to you in all caps being like, that's not Marxism.
I did see that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Groucho does not deserve this shit. Why the hate?
I don't know, man.
I actually know a group of Marxists in Chicago. They meet.
Oh, good. That's where I'm moving. My people. I said that's where I'm moving. My people.
It's interesting because like I went to school with one of them and he's a member, and that's the only reason why I know about him is because like he's an actual Marxist and I actually appreciated his viewpoint on things. Like,
yeah,
I'm not personally a Marxist, but he is, and I was like, I like your train of thought on some of this. It makes me think.
Yeah, I mean, I won't get on my Marxism, train here because I could live on it, but like,
I could live on it. Chug.
I really could. Like, Marxism is a philosophy that, when put into practice, ends up being communism. Yes. But we've never really had a purely communist experiment or attempt. Sorry. Yeah, we could live on this train. Let's do it.
Yeah.
For me, it's that like they use it as this buzzword to basically mean that you're against white Christian conservative Christian America. That like because they have tied like capitalism to white supremacy. They have tied white supremacy to Christianity in the US, and so everything is about privileging them. So they see equality like where we're just like asking for basic human empathy, being like, look, this is what happened in history. Like it's something I talk about all the time, that like privilege is not like the point of privilege and acknowledging privilege is not guilt. It is radical empathy, inspiring action and change. And the thing is, they don't want the action and change because that takes away their privilege and that takes away their power to oppress marginalized people.
So going back to this white, sorry, it wasn't a white nationalist party. It was a men's conference. My bad.
Same thing.
Going back to it, though, if you tell them that they're privileged and that they need to be empathetic, suddenly that means that they're not special, which means that they can't be like
this is white
God.
Christian nationalist. No,
I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing.
With their British tank and their Chuck Norris cosplayer.
Yeah, that was an inappropriate thing for me to say.
Aren't Uzi Israeli?
And they just because they see it as like
just like, picking apart the red, white.
Are those even American cars that are crushing?
What kind of cars are? Looks like we have a Buick.
No, you can't crush American cars.
There's what looks like an Infiniti, which is just a fancy Nissan, which are built in Long Beach, California. The Buick might be built in Mexico, actually.
So they're crushing American cars with a British tank with an American flag behind them. Oh, this is rich.
No. Let's talk about this for a second. The
God damn, this is
pyrotechnics that they're showing here, the pyrotechnics along those sides, guaranteed made in Asia somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like
So
the most
Asian
American.
fireworks, British tank, American cars.
All the decorations are made in China. I mean,
I'll bet you that dude's
China.
gay. Like that's the only thing that's missing.
Okay,
This
hold
dude's
on.
definitely gay.
Before we go into that, let's not use that as an insult.
Yeah, no, it's not an insult. I'm saying like
Now,
No, but
everything
it
is
is a
backwards.
very
They're
like
trying to be as manly as possible, as American as possible, but they're using a British tank.
now I will
This
say
is probably
that he
gay.
might be a closeted something, but I think mostly what it is he just, that man that pretended to be Chuck Norris just had his 10 seconds of fucking manhood exploded within him. Okay,
Well-
that man is the happiest fucking man in the world for absolutely no reason, except that in his own mind he was just proven right.
No, but not only that, like he's holding up these guns, which are like these penises that he's holding up in the air.
Well,
And they're
to
shooting
be
back.
They're
perfectly honest,
proxy phalluses.
Nat,
They're proxy phalluses.
Nat just made a point, though, that he had his moment of manhood explode in him. Are you saying he can reach
I'm saying that someone reached him.
Nice.
himself?
I'm saying that something happened in that
the
man.
plumbing goes all the way around.
I
And
just
usually in a tank, there is an assistant gunner down there with you.
There does then tend to be, yeah, he had to have had a buddy down there. Like, the only thing that would make this more interesting is if his dick was getting sucked as this went through. But I can only imagine that after going over those cars and having ridden in a tank before, it would have been bitten off.
True. True.
Sorry, I am being inappropriate tonight. I'm sorry. That's
No.
It's okay.
No. This
I-
entire thing
It's
is an
inappropriate.
exercise
Here.
in being appropriate.
We are all about
And
professionalism here on
This
Nerds
is
and
the fucked up
Heresies.
part. This is the same church that most of the student body that I went to high school with attended.
Yeah.
The same church where most of the teachers that I was taught, like I was taught from, went to this church. When
Yep.
a child from this church would tell me that I was going to hell because of evolutionary theory and whatnot, whenever I asked questions in class, this is the reason why I got sent to like the superintendent all the time. It's because the teacher would back up the kid because they both went to the same church.
Wait, in regular school.
Yeah, in regular school, public
God.
school. Branson. In fact, I will say it, Branson High School. You can find me there. You can
Dude,
find me there.
not just that, because I lived in Nixa, which is
Nixon's
like right
also
next
a
door.
big one. Yeah, Nixon.
Yeah, and so like when I tell people that I have so much that I'm getting caught up on in science, when I went to a public school, it's because they tried to teach evolution as little as possible and present it like it's just a theory and microevolution, but not macroevolution. I've been like watching like Gutsick, Gibbon, and Forrest and being like, man, I wish I'd been taught that as a kid.
First, yeah.
But I have to like,
I
and then
gotta
like I have to like
go
stop and like rewatch it because I'm like, I understood about a third of that, so I got to go back and rewatch it.
I understand. No, my first science teacher in high school went to this church. He was my physics teacher, and I found out very early on that I could fudge my homework. I could absolutely make shit up, and he would just let it go by because he didn't actually believe half the shit he was teaching.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's like a Mormon archaeologist, which I've worked with.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's like a what archaeologist?
Secularity. Hi.
Oh.
Mormon archaeologist. So fun. Yeah. It's this church was just it's so fucked up. And
I
fact that it has like over 25,000 members. I think it's sitting. I think that's the low side. That's a low count. Actually, we should Google it. Can we Google it? Karaya, look it up.
The Wikipedia page says 19,000, but I don't know when's the last time it was updated.
I'm not gonna lie. I threw that number out there. I didn't know it.
I got
But I'm
distracted.
Yeah, I was looking it up. I was looking it up before we came. Like, I was like, I need to like have all the facts be fresh in my mind. What I always called it, like, especially after I left, is I called it Six Flags for Jesus.
It is.
That's funny.
I love it. Oh my God! Do you remember their Easter celebrations and how they would do a one-on-one with Faith Life Church? I was telling Dadpool about this. So Faith Life Church was another massive evangelical church that was based out of Branson that had most of the entertainment people in Branson that went to it. Faith Life Church was only different from James River in the fact that they allowed gays openly. That's probably the only difference. Now, granted, they didn't want to see them doing anything or being who they are, but they didn't funnel the gays or pray the gay away with them. They were just like, God made them in a different image, and it's for their own safety. And like that was a whole thing. But Faith Life Church on Easter, specifically Easter, they would have what's called the free sale. The free sale is they would try to get as many James River people to come to their church as possible by having basically a rummage sale that was the size of like 8 football fields, just covering multiple parking lots throughout Branson, and everything there was free. You came and you got what you felt you needed.
Huh.
And James River tried to copy this, and it turned into a disaster because when they did it, it turned into like an absolute, like, it was a rampage. Like, people just went absolutely crazy. Oh no.
That guy could pick up cable with his ears.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he had some call. Oh yeah,
What?
that happened too.
What was that? Christ.
No,
Six Circus away.
They had the people from Ka or whatever came to do some. They had,
Okay, because I was going to say Cirque du Soleil is fire, but why are they there?
because
I
it's
saw
the
Ka.
only
It was
thing.
good.
No, what's really funny is a lot of the X Games guys aren't Christian. They just showed up because they got paid to be there.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, every single one of those guys is smoking marijuana.
Oh yeah.
Okay, might be a lot.
Well, that's what Eve would talk about with James River, how or not with James River, but with Bethel. That like that. Yeah, but that like with Bethel, that people on our worship team would be so drunk. And and it's like I now like look back and I think of like services at James River and I'm like, there's no way that person was sober.
Yeah, there's the people backstage were absolutely sick
Well,
to
and
say.
then,
James
like,
River is Assemblies of God too, isn't it?
oh yeah, the
Which
only
is
time
no
I
alcohol at all. Period. Like Jesus,
oh yeah.
Jesus drank grape juice, kind of no alcohol.
Yeah, the only time I ever heard someone speak in tongues was at James River. And I didn't even know that that's what they were trying to do.
I didn't know.
Dude, like it was like they were like, and it was like she was trying to speak parcel tongue or something. Like she had just watched Harry Potter and was like inspired. Like, yeah, and like I was like, Jody, what are you doing? We're supposed to be worshiping right now. Go away. And then like later, someone was like, did you hear that Jody spoke in tongues? And I was like, is that what she was doing? Because it just sounded like she was trying to be Harry Potter. Like.
Did you hear?
Do you hear?
Jesus was trying to be Jesus. Is it me?
When I was
Jesus?
in youth group in high school,
Me?
somebody was talking about speaking in tongues. And I was like, well, what language is that?
Tongues.
And for the life of me, no one would answer my question.
Yeah, because they can't.
What
That's
language?
the best thing ever. What language is tongues? It's what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, I get you use your tongue to speak. What language is it?
It's an angelic language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I just read an article that
the
was
language
saying,
of the angels. Yet another reason I don't want to go to heaven.
I'm surprised they aren't advertising it because I just read an article from just a couple of days ago that said that Josh Hawley is going to be one of the main speakers for the next one. Like not just open it, but be like one of the featured speakers for the 20.
I don't know. That seems like a mistake, but what do I know?
I mean, let's be honest. Oh, honestly, they might be able to get Tucker Carlson in
Hold
now
on.
because he's no longer on Fox.
Oh wait,
Probably bring
maybe
him in.
not.
With how much money they fucking make, I would imagine they would.
We might have to listen to this.
Okay, everybody mute. Let's hear.
I don't know what this is. I've never seen it.
Oh dear.
You know, if you just look at the statistics, just look at the number of men in America who say they're suffering from depression, all-time highs. Look at the number of men in America who are suffering from drug abuse and alcohol abuse, all-time highs. Look at the number of men in America committing suicide, all-time highs. There is no doubt that we have a crisis of purpose for men, especially young men in this country. And we just need to call these men to something higher. Listen, yesterday I just talked about what the Bible has to say about why men are important.
Right.
You know, God has purpose for men and women in this world. And by the way, those are two separate things. You know, there are men and there are women, and they're different. And God has a purpose for each one of us, and each one of us is a man and as a woman. And we just talked about this conference, 10,000 men from all over the country gathered to worship God, to hear about how they can be better fathers, better husbands.
Do not.
I've never heard a church give good tips on being a better husband.
How the hell is watching a fake Chuck Norris shoot guns
how they can go out and lead in their communities? I mean, it was just awesome to be part of. Men want that purpose, and the country needs it. The country needs the men of this nation to step up. And that's really what we talked about.
No, I don't think so.
No, damn it, Dustin! You don't need to call out.
I mean,
real.
I think that, like, the thing is that there's so I'm gonna say there's a little bit.
I mean, we're calling him out, I guess. I don't mean to. I guess that's happening now.
Of truth, and the fact that, like, there is a problem with men in depression. That's what, like, Jess spends so much time talking about. How toxic
depression as a whole.
Oh yeah, but like
but
there is a problem of, like, men are committing suicide like 3 to 5 times more than women are.
I will admit there is an ideology on the fact that there's pressure on men to do what they say they're going to do, whereas women are constantly encouraged not to.
Well, and I think it's just that, like, it's what Jess talks about all the time on her channel, and she gave a really amazing speech at DCon earlier this year, where she talked about how misogyny and toxic masculinity harms men.
It does.
Like,
it absolutely does.
It absolutely harms them because it puts them in these boxes where they aren't allowed to feel any emotion except for anger.
Mm-hmm.
And that it tells them, like, it's because you've had, like, some really great quotes where it's like men aren't conditioned what to be, they're conditioned what not to be, which is girls.
Right.
Like, they aren't taught to be strong, they're taught to not be weak. They are taught to not be feminine. They're taught to not express emotions. They're taught what not to be. And so they, if they don't fit into that, it causes a lot of pain and hurt for them. But even if they do fit into that, that's super toxic to be hold up. So it's like he doesn't realize that he's promoting more of the sickness instead of the actual cure.
Well,
yeah, I mean, he's so close to the point, and then he just in the wrong direction.
Like, men are depressed because they're not manly enough.
Nope.
No.
Amen.
You almost touched it, but you didn't get there.
Well, you heard it from
Timmy. I love that.
I am not manly.
Oh,
Me neither. Yeah.
guys.
Dude,
I mean, honestly, it's like everything in Josh Hawley's life. So close.
Everything is not real.
Have you seen that picture of him kissing his wife where it's like neither of them want to be there? Like,
yeah, I haven't. Thankfully.
I thought that, like, when he talked, he had lips, and then I saw that picture. I'm like, there are none. There are no lips. They don't exist.
Not a big lips guy.
Not a big lips guy.
They're plastered on the ass of
Jesus.
I mean, let's be honest. Whenever he looks at Trump, he's like, "Yes, Dad."
Are you gonna bring up that picture?
Yeah.
Bring it up. It's so bad. The picture of him kissing his wife.
Where are you, Taylor?
Like, this should have been like manhood.
Where'd they go? There's nothing there. Like, zoom in on that shit. Like, I can't see it.
My man needs some lip injections.
I'm sorry.
there. Like,
He's closing his mouth like a steel
When-
trap.
like,
When
no
I
point.
was
Using
when
tongue
I
is-
was like 11
yeah,
years old.
well, Ricky, you should just zoom it in if
Obi-
you could. You just zoom it in. We just have to see this bigger. Just
So
it's more.
what is that?
I don't know. But
Which
you
It's like when I was little and someone was like, you have to give your, like, I don't know, grandpa a kiss. And I was like, didn't want to do it. And then I do it. And so I was like,
Yeah.
Which, by the way, his wife is the lawyer that was arguing that the FDA approval for mifepristone should be revoked.
yeah, she
That
should be
was-
revoked.
she's one of them.
She's terrible.
Why does
She's
it bother
terrible.
her?
That
Judging
poor
by
sad dry
the
woman.
first thing about the bedroom. So
Yeah, like, it's not like she needs to worry about getting pregnant anytime soon.
Like, does she have? Do they have kids? I don't even know if they
Yes, they do have kids.
do. Are they
what
his?
box did they find them under?
Where did they get them from? The adoption agency? Like, what adoption agency did they use?
You know what happened? You know what happened is that she used her real name near a ring of mushrooms, and they're changeling babies.
They're changeless.
See how happy they
Oh,
are?
run away! Ricky, you look like you're having a blast.
I got to share this real quick. Josh Hawley dresses like he thinks he has nice arms.
Fucking beautiful.
That is true. Yeah.
It is
He can
extra
return the
medium
extra
shirt.
small child's shirt to
He
someone
gets
else.
it's a schmedium. It's a schmedium.
It's a schmedium. It's a schmedium. It's a youth schmedium.
Extra schmedium.
Extra schmediums.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Oh, just
Yeah.
asked us questions, Ricky.
Oh yeah. Hey. So,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, boys, we have to put you on the spot because it is Toxic Masculinity Night. What is the most toxic masculinity moment that either of you have had? And I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure because I kind of trust that both of you guys know when you've done something and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
It's hard to pick one.
Ah!
There's so many.
Are there really? Spill.
What do you think, dear?
What do you think, dear? The wife first. I love it. I think you should stick with what
My wife
happened.
is about to explode here next to me. It's like,
No,
oh
no,
my
no, no,
God.
no. I kind of want to
You're gonna
know
push me out of the frame.
No, I kind of want to know pre deconstruction Ricky versus now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like I want to know what you did back then
And-
versus now.
Hey, Rachel, is the answer his hair?
Oh no.
No, that's just his white supremacist haircut.
This is my quarter life crisis. Well, my
It's his
third life
paintbrush.
crisis.
It's his paintbrush.
Wait, are you just, what's wrong with his hair?
What's wrong with you?
She doesn't
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna say I'd like to make a point that Archeowolf also has this hairstyle right now.
She
and
liked it when I looked like I was in a
It's
boy
not
band.
blonde,
I am for
though.
it. I love it.
Wait, but is
When
it
did
like
you look like you were in a boy band?
Archeo, is it shaved on the sides?
When it was short and I brushed it to the side. That's
his
what
hair
it
is short,
It's
not-
not as shaved as Ricky's because I haven't had a haircut in a while.
Dude, his is like buzzed, like a buzz and then like this giant like fucking paintbrush.
Yeah, no.
I was just talking shit. Rachel, I do want to know what your answer is.
It's
I am
it's at
curious.
it's at the length now that it touches the back of my neck, and I feel like the tag from my shirt is sticking out. So I'm always like reaching behind me to make sure my tag isn't sticking out. And it's like, oh, it's just my fucking hair. Because it's at that length.
You'll get used to it probably.
What was
Maybe
the
not.
most cringe like thing you did while you were
Okay.
going to an Assemblies of God church?
Cringe. The amount of chairs
That I
I would carry.
the youth
one
group
time,
at
I'll
all.
tell you.
Yeah, I was
No,
talking to Ricky specifically, but
No, I get it. I'm just saying.
God, I gotta think.
Period.
So,
That's not a toxic
well, he's
masculinity.
Oh yes,
I
the
will-
fuck it is.
Oh. What was that?
What?
I I heard
Oh,
you.
sorry,
I said
something?
while he was thinking, I would answer the question, and then everybody got
Go ahead, answer, because
No,
why like they were waiting
I'm
for
drawing.
him.
No, go ahead. We're
drawing blank
I
here.
acted extremely possessive over a woman it was not my place nor job to be, and it resulted in about 8 of us going to jail.
Oh.
What?
Say
What?
more.
I know that story.
It was like
Morgan has the
it
best
was
stories.
the right reasons.
He
It
does.
was my heart was in the right place, wrong execution.
Your heart was in jail.
Yeah,
My heart was in
I
jail.
don't know if that's the right place, but
No.
before that.
So, from what I can remember of this story, he literally just executed it wrong. like everything was in the right place, and he was like, and I went to the wrong person.
Like I should have lied. So when I was in Oklahoma, because Midwest, I was at a bar with a friend of mine. Now, a friend of mine is very beautiful, Latina, lesbian. So what I did was, just was hanging out with her. And a bunch of boys from like Oklahoma City Tech or something, all honkied out, come over to bother her. Wouldn't leave her alone. And I stood up. And mind you, we're in a cowboy bar. And while I am wearing jeans, I'm wearing a black button-up shirt, very much like this, and a Newsy Boys cap, because this was my weird Peaky Blinders phase.
Newsboys?
That's beautiful. No, Newsies.
I know. Sorry, I was just joking.
So,
Okay.
so I stood up. I got in their face. I said, "So, no, back the fuck." And one of them said,
Uh-oh.
"Is she your girlfriend?"
Mm.
And my response was no. But as far as you guys are concerned, she's fucking mine. Back the fuck off. Somebody said something about treating a lesbian in a way that she would learn what it is to like men.
Oh, God.
Then broke 3 teeth out of his head. It was a very big fight.
This is
I don't know,
the same
sounds fine to
lesbian that you
me.
said would try and seduce me, isn't it? This is the same
What?
one, right? This is the lesbian that you said if I met her, she would try and seduce me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure that this is the right one.
Okay.
She's more toxic masculine than I am.
She is apparently she's like, you're straight. Don't worry, darling. I can change that.
Oh, well, then can you give me her number? Because I'm fucking tired of being straight.
No, because she drives an FJ Cruiser. And I'm sorry, if you drive an FJ Cruiser, you shouldn't.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Toyota, but it's supposed
Oh.
to be
It's a
like a
Toyota
Land
without airbags?
It's supposed to be like the Forerunner, but it's like a Forerunner didn't. It's like, okay.
You are a man.
It's like an autistic
FJ
Forerunner.
Cruiser. You are
It's a
required
goddamn
to get out.
autistic Forerunner, okay?
So it's like
Wait,
if a
wait. It's
Forerunner-
a
You are
PT
a woman
Cruiser?
And you drive an FJ Cruiser.
No. It's a.
You're
FJ.
required
It's
to not have boundaries.
Yeah,
With
just
any-
called
So-
an FJ Toyota.
It's basically like if a Forerunner and a Jeep Wrangler had a baby, but in the worst way.
like it came out fully developed, but it wasn't actually developed.
Interesting.
No,
Okay, I'll have
it's
to
like-
look it up.
Thought
I need to know. I need to know,
egg of an
Captain.
40,
I don't-
50 years they stopped building them.
Captain, what have you done?
I don't think I have much of a story other than refusing to go to therapy, even though I should. Yeah, like,
I mean, that's a pretty good
that's like the
one.
most toxic masculine thing I've ever and am still doing.
Well, now we know, so we're going to all pressure you into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're-
that's-
do it.
Good luck.
Good luck. I love
Fine,
it.
I don't have to live with you, no offense, so I can just do it whenever I feel like it, and then I can move on.
To be
That's
fair,
fair.
to be fair, I have the ability to not just irritate him, but also Rachel about him going to therapy. So
Yeah.
I don't want to go to therapy. I've been to therapy before. It's stupid.
You
Yeah,
had
that sounds...
experience
Take it
from
from-
hell,
take
okay?
it from someone whose mother
See?
was a therapist that didn't therapy me right. I know that's the wrong fucking terminology, but having,
No, but,
having, having
my
a
mom was
psychologist
also a
analyze you
therapist.
as you were raised is fucked. But since I went to therapy, it's
Look.
much healthier now. There's
But
a lot
imagine if you had a bad doctor and you just never went to a doctor again.
right.
Like,
If you're-
Not
I
good.
know people that fucking do that though. I
not
know
healthy.
people.
Like, you just find a different doctor.
Wait, Karaya, you're not in the Midwest anymore. Shit.
No, I'm in California.
One of them is in California.
I'm drowning.
I'm also in California.
Oh, are you texting her right now? You're fucking doing
Two
it.
of them are in California.
Oh shit.
Wait, is she in Cali as well, or where is she?
Her mom's in Cali. She's in Oregon, but goes back to Cali often.
Okay.
Ooh, Jess.
I mean,
I'm
Cali's a
moving to
pretty
Chicago.
long
Oh, is it
state.
because of the Marxist thing?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm actually moving to Chicago.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm actually moving there.
She got into
Oh my
she got into University of Chicago for their theology program.
Chicago. Well, for their
I didn't know that. Congrats.
Religious studies.
oh, thank you. Yeah, religious studies. For hopefully, I won't
I'm
study
over
any
here studying
theology.
soil, it's fine. I'm literally studying dirt, and you're over here like studying the heavens.
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna study.
Theology is the most useless fucking topic. Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Every time someone's like, "Oh, well, why are you going to study that?" I'm like, and then they still don't get it. I keep repeating myself and trying to explain what religious studies is versus what theology is, but you know.
Yeah.
No, but I
whatever.
studies, because like I think that the studies, well, one, I think when you look at religious studies as like a broad spectrum outside of Christianity and how people are just constantly trying to make sense of their world. Like that's why even though I think like horoscopes are bullshit, I don't blame other people for enjoying them because people are just looking for patterns in the world and themselves.
Right.
So even though, like I don't like even like the Myers-Briggs was like a huge thing in the church, and I'm like, ooh, no science in that whatsoever. But like
People
whatever.
are so weird. Yeah.
But I'm wanting to go back to school. It's going to be a long process for me. But
Well, for what it's worth, it was also a very long process for me, but you know, good things take time or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
you got to get a job first.
encouraging.
That is the thing.
I hate jobs.
Volunteers tribute for what, Rachel?
I just have to be an adult and do the fucking paperwork. That's my problem. I
Ooh.
gotta
Oh
request
yeah, paperwork's the
scripts and
worst.
shit, and
I am
I really don't
so
want to do
bad
that.
about that.
I really don't want to call my old school and be like, "Can you send me a transfer?" And I really don't want to do that.
Oh, wait, you still have to submit actual transcripts?
It has to be
Yeah,
essentially
that's
directed.
the
Well, yeah,
thing.
to make
You have to,
sure
like,
like
yeah.
what classes are compatible with what.
Oh, but you can't do like
Virtually. You just
sorry.
have to have-
Yeah, you could do like fuck me, unofficial transcript,
You submit the unofficial.
and then you
transcript.
shouldn't have to call them.
No, but so I when I did mine, I had to submit
We
my
have one
unofficial
that's not
transcript,
sealed,
and
right?
then when they decided they wanted to accept me, they were like, "We need an official transcript before we can
Yes.
be accepted."
Yes, so
So-
if you've been accepted and they request one, yeah, definitely they want the official one. But like, for instance, so I just got accepted, obviously at Chicago.
It's in file, right?
They have a scanned copy of my transcripts. I didn't send them one from my school. They haven't asked for it.
Well, there's a chance that they might have contacted your school for you, like especially.
Yeah,
if your
that's
school-
fine. Works for me.
I mean, yeah, NCSU did not do that for me, but they did contact my school to get like extra references for.
Interesting.
Because they had to check to make sure that like my ecology and my biology standing was as good as my geology standing, and.
Oh, okay, yeah. Neither.
I'm gonna have to like take some courses because my degree was in something else, and so before I can apply to a master's program, there's like certain courses I have to take,
Yeah.
and then I can apply for a master's program.
Well, my big
Probably
issue
what
right
my
now
deal
is
is gonna
I've
be.
gotten accepted. Oh, by the way, yeah, I got accepted. Yay!
Yay!
Wait,
Congratulations!
Here's the trick.
everybody's
I
going to
still
school
don't
but
have
me.
residency, even though I've now been here for over a year, because I don't know, fucking laws and shit. North Carolina, because of how many people have flooded North Carolina, it's made becoming a resident here like damn near impossible because there's so many people that are snowbirds, and it's a pain in the ass. I'm just having to go through a lot of shit to get my in state tuition, because Out-of-state tuition, $5,000 a class. In-state tuition, $500 a class. That's a whole ass.
Even more.
That's like ridiculous.
My issue
Yeah.
is, even though my college is fully accredited, most of my classes are not going to be compatible with a secular degree program. Because like most of my courses are like in Bible. Like I have a whole ass
Right.
3 credits in the Book of Romans, another one in Hebrews, another one in the Pentateuch, like a shit tons of credits in just Bible. So I can go to like a religious degrees program, and they'll be like, yeah, we'll take maybe some of these,
Well, but like
not
there,
all of them.
I mean, but there are like secular universities that do like biblical theology degrees, like like
not
Yale,
really, not biblical theology.
and like there's different ones.
Or the program I'm looking at is through American Military University, which is basically a degree mill for veterans. It's going to be honest, but it's fully accredited. It's one of those like you put into it, you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
They have a program and a master's. So what?
Is he cutting out for everyone else?
Yeah, sorry, you were cutting out for me a lot.
There's a
Not
lot
just
of
me, I
things
guess.
happening just then.
Sam,
Also, I want to make a point. We kind of jumped topics.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Big time.
go.
This turned into like a hangout session more than a.
It did. That's okay though.
live
I
stream.
mean, well, I mean,
Whatever.
when we're talking about something that was so fucking influential on 2 of the 5 of us' like lives growing up, of course it's going to turn into a hangout session because like both of us fucking got trauma from it.
Well, yeah, because like I haven't even shared of how like so one of the reasons that I stopped going is so I mentioned that my mom is a therapist. Well, my mom, is a Christian therapist, but she never let her faith be part of like she wouldn't lie to people, but like she just tried to be like a good therapist, right? Well, if women were being abused by their spouses, she wouldn't say like, hey, you need to leave your spouse or you should get a divorce because like there's guidelines of like what they can and can't say. But she would she would ask them like, do you think you're being treated the way you should be treated? Do you think that this is how you deserve? Do you think that that's an acceptable response to what you said? Like getting women to think. And so like women would end up like separating from their spouses or like getting divorced. And so one of the pastors there was telling everybody to not go to my mom as a counselor because she doesn't preach biblically. And then also because her kids worship weird. I don't know what I was doing. I just worship like I was just trying to copy what everybody else was doing.
Right.
But apparently it was like because it's very like out there and Pentecostal and like
Everything I do is weird, so like I don't know. Like I'm kind of a weird person.
I got ostracized for being what I thought was normal, but apparently it's not. And then I found out that like, psychologically I have issues. So like that's fun.
I knew a guy who worshipped
Let's
by
be honest,
swinging
I've
his
never
foot
been
around.
normal. I've never been normal not once in my life.
Well, and then like the thing was that so that particular pastor never spoke to my mom. He never even spoke to the women. He only spoke to their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
So he was telling everyone, don't go to my mom as a counselor because she's telling women to divorce their husbands.
It's not very masculine of those husbands.
Yeah.
I just say, bro. Okay. I just rethought my toxic masculinity thing as I dropped my.
Oh no, you have another one? What?
You do not share. You do not speak. You do not do anything. Period. The fucking end. You don't get to. So the fact that these men are talking to their pastor, another man who is technically in the animal kingdom a threat to whatever biological imperative you have to spread your progeny.
He was about to say seed.
You're not supposed to talk.
No
You're
shit.
not supposed to show any weakness whatsoever. They're
Right.
not talking. They're talking, which means they're failing at being men. Sorry.
Yeah, I wish men didn't talk as much. That would be cool. You guys are fine, generally speaking, though. Like in public, Sorry.
I have noticed since moving here.
Too many
I'm
white
teasing.
dudes have podcasts.
This is something that I kind of felt in Missouri, but like the Christianiness of Missouri kind of overshadowed the sexism side of Missouri. Like, and I know it sounds weird, but that happens.
Nah.
But now that I'm in North Carolina, I have noticed that there is a lot of biases based off of me simply being a woman. This is, and the thing is, I've experienced this in the geologic field. I have gone to the oil field. I have worked with a lot of geologists and a lot of roughnecks, and I don't really get heard much out there, and I was used to that. Went to Missouri, kind of got heard a little more because, I don't know, fucking, if you pretend to be Christian, they love you. It's weird. Weird how that works. But then I've moved out here, and since I've moved out here, I've gone to a few professional development, like engineering meetings, and I have been, like, I have raised my hand in class, or I have done stuff, and it has just been completely ignored, like I wasn't fucking there. And this has happened not once, but like 5 times now. And I'm noticing that there is a trend down here that is women in engineering or women in any form of public service have to get loud and have to get bitchy as soon as they can. Otherwise, they don't get heard. And I think that's where like my talent has come in about being loud when I need to be. Because by God, this last professional development class, I was fucking there. Sat in the front row, fucking hand up in the air. Like, I did not give a shit. And I can tell you, I started discussions in this class that I'm pretty sure would not have happened if I hadn't have said anything. Because I had some guys that were trying to push back on what I was asking. Like, oh, that's stupid. You don't know. Like, that's just not the way things are done. And I'm just, anyway. I'm just saying, like, this
Yeah,
down
it's
here.
crazy.
North Carolina's kind of nuts. I'm feeling a little less love, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel a little stronger. So there's
Good.
that.
Ricky, with what Morgan was saying about spreading seed, I put a link in the private chat. Can you pull up this video?
Please no.
Oh, are we doing this again?
What is
No.
this?
Oh,
Dude,
Patriot
that is
hate.
the most cringe thing.
No,
It's about like stronger man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
All right.
I can't.
None of us can.
Hold on. Oh, God.
He'll bring it up.
I'm
But-
muting myself. I can't.
I have not watched this. I've read the subtext, but like, I haven't watched it just because of how cringe it sounds.
Oh dear.
Dude, it's even
But
like
here we
Is
go.
it appropriate?
yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Is any? No.
What the fuck is wrong with his face?
A number of things.
Look, if I don't have
Look.
100 TP,
It's not
so
great.
TP USA, like that's Charlie Kirk's organization. That's the women that he's talking about. But
TP.
Turning
Like
Point
toilet-
USA.
Oh, not
toilet
like
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I didn't think that through.
That is bullshit.
Okay.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
But no, like listen to this. It's like 30 seconds. It is the
Look.
most
Do
I
I
don't have 100 TPUSA girls lined up begging me to impregnate them. The next year, you know, our country has no hope, no future.
What?
You know, shoot,
True.
I'm the most eligible bachelor in America. If my genes don't get passed on, you know, this country's gonna go downhill real quick.
Oh my God.
All these dummies
What?
having babies, you know. We need to start pumping out these Christian nationalists, these white Christian ultra nationalist babies if we want a future. Y'all TPUSA girls are scared of this. Look,
Are we 100% sure he's being serious?
he's 100% being serious
That
because then
sounded
I
so
made a
supportive.
TikTok.
I am sorry that this is going to piss off some people with the word usage here. This guy absolutely has to be retarded. There is no spark happening in this brain, and he is speaking. And what spark there is malignantly wrong.
No, like, and the thing is that he is really that, like, he goes into, like, if you look on Patriot Takes and just look up, like, Ethan Schmidt, you will see video after video of him going into Barnes and Nobles, him going into Targets and throwing fits over BLM, over pride displays.
I've met him.
You've met him?
Is he one of the idiots that messaged you on one of your TikToks?
No,
met him?
No, I
He
met
messaged
him
me.
at a gas station.
Why did you do that?
At a gas station
with the fleet, with the company truck.
No.
And he was going on at all of these girls who were in the company truck with me, who were obviously going to a not mom housewifey job, and he was lecturing them.
What?
And I walked out, and I
was
the driver only because I was the only one the company had certified with their insurance.
Oh, did
and
he,
I
like,
walked up behind him and told him to fuck off. And he decided that he was going to try to be mean or stand his ground. He's about a foot shorter than I am.
You are a beast, though.
PetSmart employee.
No, I remember this guy. Sorry.
All right, we gotta check this out.
PetSmart employee. Oh dear.
I gotta switch the thing again.
And then,
so
the fact that, like, one, he thinks that he's entitled to 100 women's bodies. Two,
whoa,
that he could
what kind of man is he?
financially support.
He's entitled. I thought he had 100 women
that flag right there?
There's a big difference.
Flag? I think it's a pride flag.
Can you take it down, please, right now?
Oh my God! Shut up.
Because it offends me greatly.
I'll get.
Yeah, that stuff is satanic. We can't have that, especially at PetSmart.
How is it that I already know what this mountain is going to look like before I even see him?
Wow, Petco sexualizes kids. They support the sexualization of kids.
Yep, and of course he's wearing an anti-mask shirt.
Wow.
Wow.
So you guys are promoting the pride flag.
This tool bag filmed his own humiliation as he tried to confront PetSmart employees over the pride flag.
Excuse me, what is that flag right there?
It's a pride
It
flag.
just makes
Can
my
you take
head
that
hurt.
down, please?
No, PetSmart supports belonging, which includes for LGBT.
So you support pedophilia and child sexualization because that's what that stands for, man. They're sexualizing kids with that flag, man. So I'm very offended, and I would like it to be taken
He
down.
sounds so fucking over it. He's like, I do not get paid enough for this.
Respect your customers.
He's like, you can
Respect
go.
your customers and please take
Yeah.
it down.
He's all no.
Time you can just walk out the door. If you're offended, don't fucking shop here. Don't fucking shop.
Do you know what the real? That's the rainbow of Satan. The real rainbow
God.
is from God.
Satan.
Jesus Christ!
Dude, so
Was this
the thing
dude
is,
made in a factory? Like this?
dude,
This dude's a robot.
I made a TikTok responding to that first video, and it was stuck in processing for like 24 hours. So I shared it on Twitter. And he messaged me. He was just like, "Hey, Karen, debate me." And then I looked at his page, yeah. And then I looked at his page, and he had this video about how the libtards won't debate him, but he was talking about himself in the third person, and it was just like, dude.
That was the guy that said debate you?
Yeah,
This dude's
that was
fucking
him.
desperate.
Oh yeah, no. By the way, Morgan had like a debate recently.
Oh fuck. No, I didn't. No, I fucking didn't. I need to stop calling it that.
It's just an idiot.
So
An altercation.
back to over the top.
Tell me more.
Just drank all of the Kool-Aid, snorted it out of the package, and got down on their knees for the pastor. I don't even know what to call him. This kid going on and on and on about Ron Wyatt. Now,
Oh my God.
you who know who Ron Wyatt is, you know that archaeologists love to hate him because he's
Can't imagine why.
So anyway, this kid is like, Ron Wyatt drew this picture. Now, this kid left 297 comments He fought with 6 or 7 different people in the comments on 11 videos. Never actually addressed me. Addressed me in the third person, acted like I wasn't speaking to him.
Dude, I followed all of this. It was great.
Holy shit.
But here's the thing, is that this guy, for the 3 or 4 days I entertained this, I could not figure out who this guy reminded me of. Like, I have seen this guy's face and this guy's personality and the way he speaks and flails his arms. And then
Probably
I finally
Ron Wyatt.
No. Pinky. From Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, shit.
This guy is absolutely Zorton Troz. He's nothing else. Anyway,
I will not be standing for pinky slander.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So anyway, he's challenging people in the comments to debate him, and people are calling him out correctly. They're responding in the way that I should have, which was, "You're not going to debate me. You're just going to scream and bawl and blah blah blah. There's not going to be a debate."
Right. Yeah.
So finally, I said, "I will debate you." After I had made a video responding to his comment to somebody else about debating him, and apparently I was penciled in. He didn't actually acknowledge me saying that, so how was I supposed to know? But I joined his live, and we were going to debate Ron Wyatt, because one of the things that this kid did was show a digital picture, 3D model of what the Ark is supposed to look like. Mind you, enthroned and a throne are apparently the same thing to him. Moving on.
For sure.
Are they not?
And it was an hour and 10 minutes of him going on about how I'm a bad person because I made him look like a liar. No talking about Ron Wyatt. No discussion about Ron Wyatt's fraudulent archaeological discoveries and how nothing actually backs anything up. It was, "You're leading people astray." And I'm like, they're all fucking adults. I can't get my dog to listen to me. They sure as shit ain't going to. It was ridiculous. And then he had this old guy who was apparently very good in the scriptures, who I'm pretty sure had to like crank start his phone to figure out TikTok. And I'm just like, are we going to debate this? No, he was stuck on the fact that I made him look like a liar. And I'm like,
no, you're just lying.
I know. But of course, the train left the rails, left the bridge, into the river, through the bottom of the river, and wound up in Bangladesh somewhere, when he announced that Alex Jones is a prophet.
Oh, Jesus. No.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Not down for euthanasia of children, but why did your parents fail?
Turn the freaking thrones, guy.
Yeah, that's something for sure. Yeah.
So that was my first debate. Because I've been asking people who call Tartaria real.
Do you guys remember Bushman?
Egyptians
yes,
being
I do.
real, and nobody actually.
Dude, that debate was insane.
I know. I'm just saying, like, poor Morgan was on the other side of another one of those fucking Bushman debates. It was just bad.
No, I feel like the Bushmen actually got somewhere. As written and squawky as it was. No, I'm the bad guy, and I'm not even the bad guy for a good reason.
No, you're the bad guy for no reason.
If I'm going to be a bad guy, make me be a bad guy. No, this guy.
At least making you a real villain would make it more interesting. Like, have good reason.
I wasn't even an Austin Powers villain in his debate. The kid couldn't be a villain.
That's so funny.
Oh my god, so funny.
Okay, where do we go from here?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
It was so
It's
bad.
So
Long and
like,
short,
it's
toxic
just-
masculinity is a thing, but it's a thing that doesn't need to exist. In fact, it would be better for both men and women if it didn't exist. Like, literally.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the sort of, and I won't talk too long about it, but like toxic masculinity is a byproduct of patriarchy. So like we've created this system, the patriarchy, it's a very broad term, but that has created toxic masculinity because it's told men that the only way to be men is a very specific, narrow way that usually includes a lot of emotional, physical, psychological violence. And, you know, we can do like discuss semantics, but telling men or boys to deny that they're sad or to hide that they're sad is an act of violence, right? Because we're telling someone that they can't feel the way they're feeling, and if they do, they're going to be punished for it. And we live in a culture where like it is still somehow controversial to say like you shouldn't hit children.
Yeah.
Like people will fight me to the death on this.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if you walked up to me and said like you're not doing something that I want you to do, and I asked you to do it and you're still not doing it, and then you slapped me, bitch, you would go to prison. Or at least the jail overnight, maybe not prison. Like you're going somewhere. I'm calling the police as much as I don't like police. Like you don't do that.
You were just
exactly. And I'm like, why does it change when that person is below the 18 years of age? It's no longer assault.
Because
like
when the Bible was written, men owned their family. Like not only did they own their wives, but they owned their children as property.
I would like to note that this is only true in the case of the areas that the Bible discusses, and not true in a lot of the rest of the world.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about when.
No, I know.
Specifically
a lot of people don't realize that same time period, women were free in other parts of the world.
Oh yeah,
they had their own bodily autonomy, and they had their own families, and they did their own shit.
There were matriarchal society, like there
still are. There
yeah.
still are. The ones that we haven't fucking tampered with. There's a few. There still are.
Yeah, I mean, you could just look at Egypt. Like usually it's before the time of Israel, but not only before. They had like the same inheritance laws for their daughters and their sons, which I think in ancient Assyria may have been a thing for a little while, and then or ancient Mesopotamia, I guess, but it wasn't always. But Egypt was very like egalitarian in a lot of ways, not totally, obviously, but it's an interesting thing to read about when you sort of like juxtapose it with Hebrew Bible.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out that the idea of the patriarchy as it is does not show up on the world stage until Christianity or Abrahamic religions as a whole. Because, you know, humans dealt with living in societies with each other, hunter-gatherer, sedentary groups, semi-sedentary groups, for thousands upon thousands of years. And it's only really in the last 2,000 years, maybe 2,500, where you see women are removed from their places in society or places of power, or their representations when they are in those places are dastardly or whatever. Mind you, we
always have nefarious needs and nefarious plans, and just don't you know that we're always here to just upturn everything in society. We don't function.
I have nothing else to do actually, so
I know. I mean, I don't either. Like, I am down to just cause chaos. Let's do it.
I think the best way to explain how women are is how Mal gets upset and says he has no rudder, and spins him about, and he can't think when he's around her, and then reavers show up or whatever. Sorry.
I like the example of 2 Kings 22 and 23. I've been talking about this a lot lately. Where the king finds an ancient text in the temple of Yahweh that he was king for 18 years, and suddenly they find this text. And in this text, suddenly God starts speaking about this text after they find it, right? God wasn't talking about it And most scholars think it's the book of Deuteronomy. And this is dated about the 7th century. And one of the things that is encouraged or is ordered in this book, and then by God after they find it, is to remove all of the relics and the from the temple of God. Basically, they take away the relics of Baal and Asherah and the hosts of heaven and the luminaries, and take all these away and get them out of the temple, right? And that's all in like one passage. Like all these things were removed from the temple. In the next passage, very special attention is paid to Asherah, specifically God's or Yahweh's wife, and the other relics are like I keep saying relics, but whatever. The other relics are burned, but Asherah's are burned and then ground into dust, and then the dust is thrown on the graves of the common people, because this was a god that was worshipped primarily by the common people. So it was a way of saying you can't worship this god anymore. This god is bad. We can't do it. It's pissing off the real God. So, and then it goes a step further, and it says they also went after the ones who made ornaments for the temple prostitution in service to Asherah. The thing is, so Asherah is being associated with temple prostitution and cult practice or cult worship practices, when she was never worshipped that way prior to that. There's no indication that she was. Asherah was, she was a powerful deity. She mediated dispute between the gods. Like, she wasn't a fertility goddess or really anything like, a little bit of fertility, obviously, but. And there's a Nat too, which is also often conflated with Asherah. And a Nat was a warrior goddess, and she's described as a virgin. And there's a passage in the Baal cycle that says she killed so many people that she sat on the throne that floated in their blood or something like that.
What
like
a badass!
Out here, a Nat is like fucking amazing.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this king says, we can only worship this one god in this one place, his temple, and the other ones especially not worship this female deity. So that is a huge turning point in the development of monotheism in the 7th century, and how the women are just demonized and turned into sexual objects.
That's one of those moments where I'm like, you know what? Kind of wish that the gods were real, because a Nat would fucking smite his ass.
Yeah, and that was brutal.
Be like, nah, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in other religions too, because like, one story that comes to mind is Medusa. So like the original story for Medusa was that she was raped, and Athena took pity on her and wanted to make sure that no man was ever going to be able to rape her again.
But they took it as an Athena's curse rather than
that she went and she had sex at the temple, and that the virgin goddess was pissed and wanted to punish her and make sure she could never feel intimacy with another man again. And
sounds like something a man would say.
Right?
Right.
Just saying.
Men. The other thing about today, like all the Christian apologists that we go back and forth with on Twitter and TikTok all the time, it's like it's all guys. Why are there no girl apologists? Because guys are the ones trying to
put themselves in their just a quiet, meager place down below.
Or it's because the men are trying to desperately to grasp onto their privilege. Their religion, their hierarchy set in that religion gives them their privilege. So they're trying to fight for it by making it sound like it's an intellectual thing, and it's totally reasonable to believe these things. It's totally reasonable that I'm, part of this religion that puts me above everybody else. So don't think we can't defend it logically. I don't know. I was thinking about it earlier. Like,
you can't defend it logically because God doesn't want people thinking.
Exactly.
Therefore,
because you've got these fucking idiots, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I'm gonna pick on Mike Jones of Inspiring Philosophy.
Oh God, sorry.
Please do.
Because
he blocked me.
because he unfollowed me, but he hasn't blocked me. He's mad at me.
I mean, in his defense, it was a good move.
Get over it.
Because I'm an asshole to him.
I just called him out for cherry picking. And,
perfect.
He followed me. But he's got a master's in philosophy. but he uses that, and he'll take on like the top scholars in like every fucking field.
I cannot imagine being that full of myself and delusional.
Yeah.
Cannot.
Oh my God, right? Right?
Yeah, like a master's in philosophy, not even like biblical studies.
He'll go after biologists, archaeologists, psychologists. Like every fucking.
Good thing I don't know who this joke is.
He's been arguing with fucking Dan McClellan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, if Dan makes a video about me, you're never gonna see me again.
Yeah.
You'll never see me again because I'll be dead.
Unless
if Dan decides to attack anyone, like he squishes them. They are gone.
Unless it was the no notes. If I got a no notes from Dan, I'm never being humble again.
I'll say this: Dan did make a video announcing that me and some other people were speaking at a conference, and when I saw Dan or McClellan has mentioned you in a video, when I tell you that my stomach fucking fell out of my ass,
that
let
happened
me
to
tell
me
you.
too. That happened to me too.
Yes.
He immediately started workshopping a suicide note.
Oh
my God. You gotta go.
All of my my rocks away from to leave my trucks.
I can happily
I'm
say
done
I've
here.
never had
I'm
Dan
checking out.
tag me in a video, but when I got tagged in the video with him because he was coming on, I was like, wait,
Anyway,
what?
back to what I was saying. I watched a video from Testify, and I forget his fucking name. I can't stand him either today. And he was like, 3 mistakes that biblical scholars make.
Oh God.
He talked about James Tabor, and I'm like, bitch, James Tabor has been reading from the Greek for 40 years, and you're going to tell him that he's wrong, and you don't even have an education. Like, that's what's insane about these people is they think they have this privilege that they can go after all these scholars. When you hear actual scholars like Dr. Josh Bowen refuses to speak out about anything outside of his field. Because that's what scholars fucking do.
That's what I love.
Oh, Josh.
I love Christy.
Will take on it. Everybody, like, that's the fucking privilege, and it drives me fucking insane.
I love Chrissy because she just shines a light on all that shit.
Oh,
She'll just
I've
be
been
you have
enjoying
a fake degree, or hey, your PhD is in English, not theology. You don't know what you're talking about, and she just like shines a light on it.
He went on after a Jonathan McClatchy today. That was tickling.
Oh.
Like, fuck
Wait,
that.
Chrissy Hansen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love her.
She was like, you have a degree in biology. What the fuck are you doing talking about biblical scholarship? Like, this is not what
Nothing.
I'm about. Like,
There's a reason why I only talk about the evolution. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, I don't go after the biblical shit because I have him for that. I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong. He'll talk to you.
Christians will like to get into like philosophical debates with me. Like, I'm not a philosophy guy. Like, I did a debate with who was it? Was it Than? I don't know, I forget who it was. I did a debate with a Christian one day, and he brought up what's the fucking Bayes theorem, and I was like, I'm glad you understand Bayes, and he was using it to argue for the resurrection. I was
He
like,
doesn't understand.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad you understand Bayes' theorem. I fucking don't. I'm not going to pretend like I do. What I can tell you is Richard Carrier uses the Bayes' theorem to say that Jesus never existed in the first place. And you're using the same equation to say that he resurrected from the dead? Sorry. I don't know much about it to reconcile that.
There's none.
You go on, though. Go off. Please.
I mean, people think that like referencing something that has to do with numbers is going to make them sound like better and like smarter, but the reality is most of them just don't understand numbers. Yeah. So if you put someone in the room with them that does, it just falls apart.
Hold the phone. I must got a no notes from Dan.
I have gotten a no notes from Dan.
I have
That's
too.
not what. Yeah. Okay. So has.
You had to bring up Richard Carrier again.
Fuck Richard Carrier.
Fuck him.
He made a whole ass article about me. How much of a fucking snowflake?
Did he really?
Wait,
he did.
Richard Carrier did?
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know this. Bring it up. I want
Why?
to hear it.
And then,
it's time to.
And then his disciples like have been in our comments. Godless Engineer's wife was trying to report him and me to American Atheists, which I'm not even a member of.
Wait, hold on.
Because
they were trying to report Dadpool?
Yeah. And then me being like,
why?
Because I said that Richard Carrier is a creep and he can eat glass, which is an expression, right? That is an expression. And they're saying
that we wouldn't mind if it.
And I liked it. As I liked it. And she was like, I don't think a representative of American Atheists would appreciate you wishing violence on another person.
on him. And I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't be broken up if he ate glass, but I'm not literally saying he should eat glass. I'm just saying, fuck you, because you're a fucking creep who sexually harasses women. Like,
Carrier Disciples sounds like a great band.
I can't, I'll have to dig a little bit.
It does. The Dick Carriers Disciples.
Captain Dadville on who is inventing workarounds.
Oh my God, get a life.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No offense, Deadpool.
I didn't even read it.
Yeah, I would never.
I want to read it.
Kevin Garbles Engineer made a whole 2-hour video, or he made a whole hour-long video responding to my video.
Did we just lose Morgan? Oh, man.
Why? These people, I just feel like, don't these people have jobs or hobbies? I don't know.
Rachel, that's what they are. They are disciples. That is like, they are his apologists.
Insane.
I thought we
I just don't understand how someone like Richard Carrier has the time to be writing articles about someone he heard of on the internet once. Like, I don't.
Because
we did have him on the show once, didn't we? We had him on the show. I wasn't there for it, was I?
No.
You never had Richard Carrier. Who did we
had
have?
Robert Price on.
That's
Ricky.
Ricky had moderated a debate that Richard Carrier was part of on Godless Engineer channel before because he didn't know what a creepy was.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry. I was like, huh?
Hey, Ricky, I don't want to tell you what to do because that's not my place, but there's some things you should know about Richard Carrier.
Yeah, all I knew was like his book and his writings. Like I read his stuff.
I mean, I have his book, the one that he's all about the Bayes theorem in, but like that's about the extent of my involvement. Especially as all this stuff seems to be getting like bigger and bigger. It's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'll just be over here doing my little doodles.
What's funny is during that, after that debate, when we were backstage, me, him, and Godless Engineer, Carrier was like, "I've seen your TikToks." I was like, "Oh, have you?" He was like, "Yeah."
Cool.
I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I appreciate hearing that from the actual scholar. I'm just a guy with a bachelor's degree." And he's like, "Yeah, but I can tell you put in the work. You really know your stuff." I was like, "Oh."
And I think that's why. I think his ego has been bruised because he genuinely really liked you. And so he wanted you to like him. And the fact that you haven't, he's like sulking.
Yeah. And I found out, like, oh, you're fucking weird. Damn.
Yeah.
Guess I'm not fucking talking to you ever again. Like, it's that easy. It's that fucking easy to not talk to toxic ass people, guys. I don't understand.
And I guess I also, like, I guess I just don't understand because, like, there's about 1.5 million people on the internet who probably think I'm, like, terrible and toxic and they hate me and that's fine. Like, I've never written a blog post about any of them.
Yeah.
Because one, I'm right. And two, I just like I don't have that. Sorry, like, but that's the thing. If I'm gonna open up my mouth on the internet and start talking with authority about something, like I've done the research. Because otherwise, like this is a good example, but also just as like a woman generally, if I say something that isn't right, like I'm never gonna be able to forget it. Like it's going to be brought up for the rest of my life anytime I say something. Well, at least at like these, but it's just like I don't get it. Like, okay, Dadpool thinks you suck. How was your life affected?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? What's for dinner? Like, I don't know.
But I think it also comes to because like other scholars won't work with him because of his bullying and the tactics. Like they don't want to work with him. So all he has are YouTubers that don't know how
Carrier's a bully?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, massively. He did a stream with Godless Engineer talking about a video Barterman did on Thomas Westbrook's channel. Like they reacted.
Holy Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the whole time he was like, I don't know why. It's like these direct quotes. Am I still here? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
My screen froze. But he was like, what was he saying? He was like, Barterman is incompetent. He's lazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no business talking about this in this area. And that was his reaction to like the whole video almost. Like he never really defended his position, or when he just kept saying he's incompetent, he's lazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like,
I mean,
like Arterman wakes up at 4 in the fucking morning and reads the Iliad in Greek.
Yeah, that guy seems like he's very busy, actually.
Yeah.
He seems incredibly busy, just from my limited knowledge of him. But, whatever.
But yeah, that's all you got is call him lazy and shit.
Well done. Guys, apologies. I'm house sitting, and I have to clean up before they get home, and they're going to be home in like 45 minutes, so I have to hop off.
Yeah, it's so good.
You know what?
But thank you for having
I'm probably
me.
going to head out too.
Yeah.
I gotta take care of the doggos.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
Okay. I have enjoyed tonight. It's been good catching up with everybody and kind of discussing trauma of the past, and also how toxic masculinity literally has no place in this society. So
Yeah. Get rid of it.
This was awesome. Thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Morgan, for bearing your soul and letting us know about toxic traits that you once had.
About your prison endeavors.
I have no soul.
I literally threw this.
I have no soul.
Literally threw this stream together yesterday. So thanks everybody for joining last minute. Everybody was like, "Yeah, I can do it." Of course.
It was fun. I will talk shit about James River anytime.
Oh yeah.
And, like,
here.
I want to hear more about what Nat went through and getting kicked
the fact
out.
that I was downtown Springfield one time, and a group of James River people. A group of James River people told me to turn my shirt inside out because I was against, I was hurting their religion, and I was protesting shit. I wasn't. It was my tennis shirt that Branson High School agreed to make, which was the evolution of man up to take a woman making a serve.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, but this was out in public in Springfield. Yeah. But there was a huge group of there were women that were taking their jackets off and holding them in a circle, and they're like, "It's okay, dear. We'll give you privacy. Just go ahead and turn it inside out." And I was just like, "No,
no,
no, no,
thanks. I'm good.
No, I'm good." But they encircled me. I couldn't go anywhere. So I just I took one of their jackets and I'm like, I'll wear it backwards, and I just wore the jacket and then I threw it in the trash around the corner and just kept going. I just it was stupid. But yeah, that's the type of shit.
Right.
James River was nuts.
Well, thanks again.
The Midwest.
I'm gonna end the stream because I'm falling asleep too. Yeah. Tune in next week for shenanigans. Pay special attention to the 21st.
Why?
Which is Sunday. I've got Dr. Jennifer Bird and Dr. Alexiana Fry.
We have Bird again. We have Bird again. I love you so much. Oh my God.
I want to hear them talk so badly because Dr. Bird focuses on female trauma in the New Testament, and then Dr. Fry focuses on female trauma in the Old Testament, and
I'm just filled with trauma, and it's great. It's so much fun talking to them because they're just yes, and you felt this way because you read this, and I'm like,
Yeah, mark y'all's calendars for that, and maybe I'll try to throw some more things together before then.
Awesome.
But then, good night, everyone. Thanks again.
Sounds good.
Oh, and one more thing. Here's a quick reminder that I'm really bad at ending shows.
Hold on to your butts.